What's going on? It's Proof coming at you live from Oakland for alldayplay.fm. DJ culture is actually in a really good place right now. Well, we're seeing probably more DJs out spinning than ever before. More people are picking up DJing. And, the barrier is definitely lower to entry these days, but I don't see that necessarily as a bad thing. If folks feel inspired to pick up DJing, I think that's a beautiful thing. One of the things that I'm really excited about with DJ culture right now is that, the diversity that's coming out of the scene. We're getting different voices, different folks, representing. It was funny, I was asked to speak at an event about my DJ journey, and I was pleasantly surprised to see that most of the attendees were women. So, you love to see that kind of representation, and I think, the future's bright. Right now, there's something for everybody in the scene. You have your hip hop and R&B parties for sure, that's like mainstays, but then a lot of electronic dance, music, house, those have also been mainstays, but then you're also seeing left field parties, like, folks doing genre-specific parties like my man E.T., who does his Astig event, which is focused primarily on, OPM and Filipino music. So I think it's dope. There's something for everybody in the scene right now. In terms of what my favorite is, genre-specific or theme events or open format, honestly, I think I do it all. Some of the parties that I've done have been heavy on the theme, and I'm really proud of the 2 events that I used to produce with DJ Spinna out of New York. We used to do Soul Slam, the Prince of Michael Jackson party, and WonderFull, which is the tribute to the Wonders of Stevie. And we had done that for many years. So it's really fun to dive deep into a particular artist or a theme like that. But then, also open format. I think that kind of is more my style of DJing, which I'll touch a bunch of different genres from hip hop, R&B, disco, house, and just kind of put it all together. So I'd say, I can do it all, to be honest, but, I think I prefer open format. Back in the day, maybe in the early 00s, I was producing events with a crew called Massive Selector. And, we had just been doing club nights here in San Francisco, in the Bay Area. And we were just fans of the music. And one of our favorite DJs out of New York was DJ Spinna, and still is one of my favorites and a personal friend of mine. He was doing a party called Soul Slam, which was a tribute to Michael Jackson and Prince. And, we wanted to bring that party over here to San Francisco. So, we had booked Spinna already at a party that we called The Summit. It was at Club 6, RIP Club 6 on 6th Street. So we already had a connection with Spinna, and that's how we kind of got connected. We let him know that we wanted to bring Soul Slam out to San Francisco, and we made it happen. And 15 years later, we had still continued to do that party every year. Actually, the first party that we brought out was WonderFull, which was the tribute to the Wonders of Stevie. So we used to throw both of those events here in the Bay, and that's something that I look fondly upon in my DJ journey. I've done everything from open a night to play prime time to close, and honestly, I feel like I could do it all. I love opening because basically setting the table, getting the room warm. I think there's a challenge to starting a party from zero, and building the room, with a curated vibe of, music, album cuts, remixes, just things that are kind of setting a good environment for dancing without kind of burning all of your heaters, I guess you could say. So I do love opening because you can kind of stretch out and play some more left field type of music. I also like being in prime time. I mean, this is kind of what, as a DJ, you're kind of taught to do, especially here in the Bay Area with so many amazing DJs that we've looked up to, that I've looked up to. It's all about party rocking, getting the party hype. So, you know, hey, I love a good primetime slot, you know, when I can get one, and I'm, you know, with the goal of killing it. Do I like B2B or do I like solo sets? I guess it really depends. At Sweater Funk, it's all about B2B. Sweater Funk, we play boogie, modern soul, and steppers on wax. And the whole night, we're pretty much going back to back between the DJs, 2 for 2. And so, you know, that's really fun. You get to build off of each other's energy, each other's records. And then, you know, when you're in this kind of like flow with the other DJs, it can really elevate the party. That's really fun. I will say though, I don't really prefer DJing back to back when I'm not too familiar with the other DJs, you know? So you know, just to be honest, I think it really works when, you know, you have a nice rapport with the other DJs, whether it's the homies or at a Sweater Funk night. Solo sets are dope too though. I, you know, love taking the audience on a journey, musically, just dipping into different genres, from hip hop, funk, soul, and just taking folks on a trip. So I like solo slots too. The main thing, at least that I've learned throughout my time as a DJ, is just really knowing your audience. You know, that's important because, you know, when you get booked to play somewhere, you want to make sure that you are setting yourself up for success and rocking the house, right? So just knowing your audience, knowing what the party is all about, and then kind of getting familiar with, you know, the other DJs who are rocking with you, just so you can fill any voids. So I kind of approach DJing as to just understanding my audience, who am I playing to? Because playing a nightclub on Saturday night is very different than playing at a corporate function during the day or playing a wedding. You really have to understand who your audience is. And then once you kind of know who that is, that's when I start like kind of tailoring my playlist or kind of prepping my crates to make sure I'm set up for success. Also, another philosophy too is just not being selfish as a DJ. I think it's really important that connection with the crowd is maintained. There's nothing better than, you know, playing from the heart and just making that real connection on the dance floor and you get that reaction. I mean, I personally lived for that moment where this kind of perfect, just this perfect moment between the dance floor and the DJ is like in tune. You know, that's something that kind of brings me a lot of joy, and it's reciprocal, you know, and you can kind of ride that wave, you can build off that energy, and yeah, so I definitely feed off that. Remixes versus originals. You know, I like both. And again, it depends on the situation. As I mentioned, a party like Sweater Funk, we don't really play remixes. Everything's on vinyl. We will play the occasional 12-inch remix or whatnot, but the format is generally original music, and the party works just fine like that, and that's what our crowd expects. But in an open format set, hey, I love a good remix. These days, with our DJ community, so much talent coming out, whether it's a DJ or producers making some incredible edits that we can use in our sets. And you know, I think I definitely play remixes, edits from friends, and just you know, tracks that I find off the internet, and dropping them in sets at just the perfect time can really set yourself apart, you know, add that kind of excitement in your set and unexpectedness in your set. I think the problem comes if you're continuing just making it rain remixes on the crowd, you start losing that effectiveness of the song. So I definitely like to mix things up, but hey, I love a good remix. You know, one of my earliest memories of DJing was actually at Filipino parties back in the day. When I was a kid growing up here in the Bay, you know, we'd hit up the Filipino party, Filipino fiesta on the weekends with my family, and there's always a DJ there. And I just found myself kind of gravitating towards the DJ, watching him spin, get people to dance, and just really elevate like that energy in the space, and just make people happy, you know? So I think that was when I knew that I really wanted to be a DJ and be just like them. That, and because I didn't know how to dance, so. You know, I want to shout out my cousin Ken Anlin. He was one of the early Filipino mobile DJs that came out of the Bay. He was rocking in the early 80s, you know, so you know, Filipinos and DJing has always been a thing, you know, for many years, even long before it was popular. Maybe back in the early 80s here in the Bay Area, specifically in Daly City, the mobile DJ scene was blowing up, and Filipinos were a big part of that. That scene, that mobile DJ scene, is kind of what inspired a lot of our generation, like Shortcut, the Scratch Pickles, you know, you name it. I want to send a shout out to my cousin Ken, who is one of the pioneers of mobile DJ scene back in the day. Favorite DJs and parties, man, there's just so many to name. I think some of my early influences, I would say, honestly, like DJ Spinna, who we mentioned earlier, Rich Medina out of Philly. You know, I really look up to those cats. Here at home, you know, Shortcut, he was definitely an inspiration for me. But also, like, you know, the homies, King Most, Travi Bobito, you know, they're repping Love Supreme. I'm really feeling what they're doing. Some of the DJs that you featured here, Nina Soul, she's incredible, out of Oakland. Really digging what Amel and DJ Darling Cool are doing with Butter. Out in New York, I like DJ Get Live. I think he's an incredible DJ. I mean, there's just too many to name. Yeah, those are just a few that I'm digging right now. What makes a song perfect for me to throw in my set? First of all, I gotta feel that song, you know, I gotta feel it in my soul. You know, if it speaks to me and I can see myself dropping it at a function, that's something that I look for. So if I'm feeling that song, there's something about it that is speaking to me, whether it's the beat or the vocals or like the bass line. There's just something about it that's kind of unexplainable in a perfect track. But I tend to gravitate towards the soulful side of things, so yeah. Today we'll be rocking some new OPM, future soul, and electronic dance vibes from Filipino artists worldwide. Peace, y'all. This is Proof for ADP.FM.